Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, and back to Sudoku U, where today we're going to be covering the final puzzle from students in this Sudoku U series covering Signet Sudoku Volume 3. This is Empire's Backbone by KingFish and Qualter, and of course there'll be a link to this puzzle below, as well as where you can get your own copy of Signet Sudoku Volume 3 for free as a PDF, or you could actually purchase a physical copy if you wished. Now, this is another modular lines puzzle. There's something about the puzzles that come out of Sudoku U. There's a lot of modular lines puzzles. You don't see modular lines very often outside of Sudoku U. I would say more than 50%, probably something like 80% of the modular lines puzzles I see come out of Sudoku U, and they're not anywhere near that amount of puzzles that I do. It's very strange, but there's something about modular lines in Sudoku U. I wonder what happens in that classroom. Anyway, tomorrow will be the lecturer's note, so it'll be another puzzle by FullDeck and Missing a few cards, and then that will finish this run of Sudoku U. There won't be any more for a while, because as far as I know, there are no more for a while, and then there will be, the day after that, there's a special thing coming, so look forward to that. It does involve FullDeck and Missing a few cards again. They're very prolific, and they work very closely with me, so you get good puzzles. No one has yet complained about the fact that I do a lot of FullDeck and Missing a few cards puzzles, so yay. But let's have a look at Empire's Backbone by KingFish and Qualter. So what do we have? Normal Sudoku rules. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We've got non-consecutive. So digits in orthogonally adjacent cells cannot be consecutive. So for example, this 2 means that this could not be a 3 or a 1. I mean, it couldn't be a 1 anyway, but this could not be a 3 or a 1 because then these digits would be consecutive. Similarly, I can't put a 6 in either of those two cells because then it would be consecutive with the 7. Similarly, I can't put an 8 in either of those two cells. So no 6s or 8s there, or they'd be consecutive with the 7. Modular lines, any set of 3 adjacent digits along a modular line has 3 different remainders when divided by 3. So these 3 cells will have 3 different remainders when divided by 3, as will those 3, as will those 3. Now, the remainders when divided by 3 sometimes confuses people. A lot of rules constructors actually put those in. If you divide 1, 4, and 7 by 3, you end up with 1 remainder. 2, 5, and 8 ends up with 2 remainder, and 3, 6, 9 ends up with 0 remainder. And if you're having trouble remembering that, look at your numeric keypad, either on your keyboard if you've got one, or on Sudoku Pad if you don't. The vertical banding, 1, 4, 7 is one set of numbers, 2, 5, 8 is a different set of numbers, and 3, 6, 9 is a different set of numbers. They're the rules of the puzzle. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. We can immediately do some coloring. I use green for my 2, 5, 8 set. For my 1, 4, 7 set, I use blue. And for 3, 6, 9, I use yellow. That's just my standard. I know FullDeck and Missing a few cards hate that coloring. It's what I use. So now, one thing we know is this is green, so these have to be blue and yellow. So if this is green and these are blue and yellow, this set of 3 needs a green, but they can't be there because then this set of 3 would have 2 greens. So this has to be green. And that means the way that works is basically every third digit along the line has to be green. So this also has to be green. But I can repeat that. This is blue. I can't put a blue in either of those 2, but those 3 needs a blue. So that needs to be a blue. Therefore, this needs to be a blue. And then the last 2 are the last 2 yellows. And I can repeat that down here. So this has to be blue and this has to be blue. Those are blue. This has to be yellow. This has to be yellow. Those are yellow. And these are the last 2 greens. So I know that these, for example, are 5 and 8. These are 3 and 9. And these are 4 and 7. These are 1 and 7. These are 5 and 8. And these are 6 and 9. That's not getting me very far. Now, where do I go from here? Well, I know that for the same rules, that is blue and that is blue. So those are blue digits. This is green and this is green. So these are green digits. So those are 2 and 8. These are blue. So those are also blue. And those are 1 and 7. And these are 1 and 4. One of those must be blue and must be a 4 or a 7. Okay, so there might be an actual trick to this that I don't see. 6 is in one of those 3 because of the 6 here. And I need to figure out something about... There must be a green in one of these 3 cells. So yeah, these are blue and yellow. There's going to be something that ties this. And I get the feeling it's row 5. I get the feeling it's row 5 because I can't put blue in any of those. So there's a blue in one of those two. I can't put blue in any of those. So there's a blue in one of those two. But I can't make both of those blue. Because if both of those were blue, then this set of 3 could have a... yeah, because the spacing is wrong. If these were both blue, then these would both be yellow because there'd be green, blue, yellow, green, blue, yellow. So, yeah, there's a blue here or a blue here. So it's either a blue here and a blue here and a blue here and a blue here. So I could color this row because I need to put one more blue in. These rows are already full of blue. So there's a blue in one of those two. I'm going to use purple to indicate blue because I'm going to do some off coloring in a minute. But there's a blue in one of those two. And similarly, I can't put blue in any of these because the rows are already full. So there's a blue in one of those two. So there's a blue in one of those two. But those two can't be the same for the reasons I just mentioned. This would be green, blue, yellow. This would be green, blue, yellow. And I'd have yellow, blue, yellow, green, yellow in here. And that's broken. So there must be a blue in here. So if this is the purple, this is the purple, and this is the purple. So if this is, so I can actually color this. If I get rid of this and make this purple, then I know this is purple, and this is not purple, and this is purple. Similarly, these are a different color, which we will make orange. So purple and orange are blue and yellow, but I don't know the order. So these are all green and yellow. Can I do the same with green and yellow? There's a green and a yellow in here, and there's a green and a yellow in here. But there's a green and a yellow in here, and a green and a yellow in here, and these can't be the same. So I can color those, but I'm not sure I could figure out. There's something very strange going on here. So there's a green and a yellow. So this digit is the same as this digit is the same as this digit. So we know that those are all the same color, and we know that these are all the same color because of the same coloring options as down here. But one of these is blue, one of these is green, and this is green and yellow, but I don't know which is which. Okay, I am very confused by this puzzle. But that's what puzzles do. So there's definitely a blue in here. And I know that this is going to run in an order as well, but I don't know which order. Because this is a green and a yellow. This is a green and a yellow. And this is a blue and a yellow. And that one is the same as that one is the same as that one. That one is the same as that one is the same as that one. Now, if they were all yellow, they'd be giving me 2 yellows in each of the columns. But I know that there's no yellows in there, and I'm not sure what that's doing. I know blues are in here because I can't repeat blue on this line. Similarly, the yellows are in here. I don't follow. Well, where's this digit in this box? This digit is in one of those 2 cells because the third blue is in one of those 2, and that has to be this. So where is this digit? It can't go in either of those 2. It can't go in the same row, so it's in one of those 2. So this 4-7 is in here. 1 is over here. This 3, 9. No, it's not the same. This 5, 8. No, it's not the same. Ah. Well, this 3, 9. No, it's not the same because the 3, 9 could go in any of those. This 4, 7 is restricted to one of those two and therefore up here, but it can't be here. It's one of those two. So this 4, 7 is in one of those two and one of those two, but I don't have the same in reverse. Is it in the top row? Not that I can see. Well, this 5, 8, yeah, is just in one of those. I'm very confused. Non-consecutive. Remember the non-consecutive rule. This 6 makes this an 8, which makes this a 5. The 8 makes this a 2, which makes this an 8. The 8 makes this a 4 because they can't be consecutive, which makes this a 7. The 4 makes this a 9 because it can't be a 3, which makes this a 3. 4 is now in one of those two. Remember your non-consecutive rule. Up here seems significantly less powerful, but 2 means that can't be 1. That's 4, that's 1, which means that's 7 and that's 1. Non-consecutive to the rescue. 6 can't be in either of those or either of those. 6 is in one of those two. Now, 2. No, I've got 2. Yeah, 7 and 9 are gone, and the 2 next to the 1. This one's not restricted. But I can't put 8 in either of those. Can't put 7 in either of those. 7 is up here. 7 is in one of those two. Because 7 can't go in those or next to the 6. 5 can't go next to the 6. Okay, this has got to break the puzzle open somehow. And I'm not sure how yet. Because all of these have enough room that there's some non-consecutive play that can happen. If this is at one of these not being able to be something because of non-consecutive. So what are these 4 digits? 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that seems ominous, but I can't seem to do anything with that. This can't be a 6. 4 is not in either of those because I can't put 4 into them. I can't put 5 next to either of those because 5 in either of those would mean that the modularity is wrong. So there's a 3, 6 with a 4 in here. There must be a 5 in one of these two with the other 3, 6. Up here, I don't seem to have the same restriction. Can't put 8 in either of those because the 7 has to be here by Sudoku. 9 is in one of these 3. Three isn't in any of those because 3 would be consecutive with either 2 or 4. 3 is in one of those two. So 3 is in one of those two, 6 is in one of those two. That means 9 is in one of those two. Because if this is the 3, this is the 6, this is the 9. If this is the 3, this is the 6, this is the 9. Because 6 has to be in one of those two. So 9 is in one of those two. That's very strange. Can I do anything else like that? Maybe, well, I got the 6. Because of the 5 and the 7. But there's nothing else that's quite that connected. If this is the 4, this is the 5. Because they can't go next to each other. So if this is the 4, if this is blue, this is green, and these are both yellow. So there must be a yellow either in one of those two or one of those two. So one of those two must be yellow. If these were 3, 6, these would be 4, 5, and they'd be consecutive and that'd be broken. So there must be a yellow in one of those two. But I knew there had to be a yellow. There's only one yellow in those. So this can't be yellow. Is that right? No, that is not right. But there's only one yellow in here. Eight can't go in either. Oh, no, modularity. I'm going to get rid of this coloring. It's breaking my brain, and I don't think it's helping. 8 can't go in. Right, no. Use the modularity. 8 can't go in. No. Where's 8 in this box? This is a 6-8 pair. Because 8 can't go in these. By Sudoku will do it, and I can't put 8 next to 7. This is a 6-8 pair. Use your Sudoku. Now, 2 is in one of those two. 1 is in one of those two, and if 1 is in one of those two, I've got the 1 for, yeah, oh, Lord, I completely missed the plot on this one, but I think I'm starting to unlock it. This is 1, so I've got the blue, and there needs to be a yellow in one of those two, which is either 3 or 9. So this is from 1, 3, 9. These have got a green and a blue, so they need a yellow, and they're not 6. So these are 2, 3, 9. Well, there's no 9 in either of those. So this is a 1, 3 or a 2, 3. If this was a 2, this would be a 1 or a 3 and that'd be broken. That's the 3, that's the 1, that's the 9, that's the 2. That is very cool. The 2 is green and the 1 is blue. That doesn't resolve this, but it does tell me that this needs to be yellow and this needs to be blue. So this is 3 or 6 and it can't be 3 because it'd be next to 2. This is blue, so it's a 4. This is very clever. The use of this was, it took me a few minutes to understand what was going on, but I think I've understood it now. 1, 2, 3, and 7 go into those, but I can't put 7 next to 8. So that's the 3, that's the 7. 7 being blue, 3 being yellow. I'm really tempted to just pencil mark all of. Where's the 5 in this row? It has to be, right, where's the 5 in this row? I can't put it next to a 4, so all of those are knocked out. That's the 5, making it green, which I got from that. So this has to be the green 8. These are the yellow digits, so I can color them yellow, but this can't be 3 or 6, so that's the 9, that's the 6. These are 2 and 9, which are the digits that are left. I'm not sure how to resolve those, but that means 1, 2, 3 and 5 go into those. And I'm not sure how to resolve that yet. But this is very, oh, the 2 makes that the 9, which makes that the 6 and makes that the 3 because of the 2 looking down. I'm understanding the puzzle a little bit better. These become green. No. Yes, they do, because this is 2, 8, and 5. Really, really cool. Now, does any of this look down? Yeah, this can't be a 6 anymore. If this was a 4, this would be a 3 or a 5, and they'd be consecutive. So this is the 3, this is the 5. There's no 3 or 5 there. That's the 6, that's the 4. 4 is blue, 6 is yellow, 3 is yellow, 5 is green, and when I said 4 is blue, I made it the wrong color. This now has to be yellow because it's this set of 3, and it's not 3 or 6. This is a 9. This has to be green, and it's not 5 or 8. This is a 2. Oh, this is nice. The 5 is looking up, making this the 8, which makes this the 5. The 1 looks up, making this the 7, which makes this the 1. This is not the 7. And I'm just going to put the quad in. 1, 2, 4, 5. There's no 5 in either of those. There's no 5 there. This is the 5, which is green. So this can't be a 2. It has to be a 1 or a 4, which is blue. In fact, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9. This is just a 1, 4 pair. So that is blue. This is the green 2, which was the digit that was missing. This has to be blue because this set doesn't have a blue. This needs to be a green because this set doesn't have to be green. So this is 5 or 8. And this one is 1 or 7. And I can't put 1 next to a 2. That is a 7. So and I've got the lines locked in now. I've done the modular lines, so I am going to get rid of all the coloring because now it will just confuse me. Let's do some non-consecutive Sudoku. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 9 go in. Can't put 1 next to 2. That's the 9. That's the 1. The 1 makes this the 4 and this the 1. Where do I want to look next? Where can I put 1 in this box? That one eliminates those. That one eliminates those. That's a 1. This is a triple. 3, 5, 7. Well, there's no 5 or 7 there. That's the 3. This is a 5, 7, and the 5 looks across, making that the 7 and that the 5. This row is missing 4 and 8. So we can put in the 4 and the 8. These are missing 2, 6, and 7. The 6 and the 2 makes that the 7, and I can't put the 6 next to the 7. There were multiple non-consecutive ways of looking at that, but I didn't. This is a 5 or an 8, and the 5 makes this the 8 and this the 5. This column, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7, and the 4 makes that the 7 and that the 4. So these are 3, 6, and 9. So these are all of those. There's no 6 there. There's no 3 there either because it'd be next to the 4. That's the 9, so that's the 6, and that's the 3. We're down to a single box. 3 and 8 go in. The 3 looks up, making that the 8 and that the 3. The 6 looks across, making this the 9, and these are 2 and not 7. 2 and 6, and I'll use that 2 to make that the 6 and that the 2, and that is the solution to this. One's had more solves than some of the others. This is the solution to Empire's Backbone by KingFish and Qualter. Took a little bit for me to understand the modular and non-consecutive. I forgot the non-consecutive for a really long time. It was still only a 20-minute solve. If I'd remembered non-consecutive, I think I would have got through that one faster, but that was very, very cool. I like that one a lot. Yeah, nice puzzle. It looks to me a bit more like a lantern, but I get what they're going for. Very cool puzzle. Like it. Thank you very much, KingFish and Qualter. Thank you to FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards for everything you do, and there's going to be a lot more coming, or at least for a bit. It's just the way it goes. They're very prolific, and people love recommending their puzzles to me. I think people like watching me solve FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards puzzles. I get a lot of people saying, do this one, do this one, do this one. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I hope you're enjoying everything, and as always, good luck with your solving.